Can you achieve something greater than freaking Superman? If you look like that, you can even forget how to talk and you will get girls. You're gonna be and the girls will be, oh my god, yeah, I wanna get laid so bad with you. This is probably gonna be the most honest tier list of the superhero actors. As you can see, I also added 2 more categories and also duplicated all the images because besides the ranking of their bodies, I also want to share my opinion, natty or not natty. The S tier is gonna mean there's literally nothing more to be added to that physique. Like, it's an S tier. Any human on earth would love to look like that, would be happy to look like that, and probably wouldn't change much about their physique. I'm not talking about Mr. Olympia standards, but average human being standards. A would mean that it's a great physique and I would probably still be very happy with that. The difference between S and A, it's arguably on the A tier, there's probably gonna be something that you can add. Maybe some more conditioning, maybe some more size, maybe some more shoulder width, but overall, if I would have that body, I would still be very happy. And maybe I would still hit the gym, right? Because I want to keep that look or maybe even try to enhance it. But if I wouldn't manage to enhance it, there would be no problem because it's a great physique. On B tier, I get it, the conditioning is there, definitely, but I would add more. Like, if I would have that body, I would try to enhance it. I would try, even in terms of like sacrificing the conditioning, I would try to get more size. Or maybe trade some size for more conditioning, right? I feel like that also is a good physique, but the proportions are not the one that are gonna make me the most happy. C and D, if there's gonna be actors who get in that categories, well, that's gonna be pretty bad, because they are Hollywood actors and they are also playing superheroes, so you should look up to them as to literal gods. If they manage to get into the C and D category, I'm gonna detail it when we get there. So, the first one we got, one of the few that people really go crazy about, is Hugh Jackman. I don't know his exact age, now probably pushing 50s, if not already there. I get it, he's got a great conditioning, right? The man is literally shredded, and I love the X-Men series, I love the Wolverine as a character, right? And also, I love Hugh Jackman's performance, but for me, his proportions are not there. I'm gonna place him in B tier. I feel like his clavicles are a bit narrow. I feel like he's got a good chest, he's got a pretty good abdominals, but his shoulders are simply not there. That's my opinion. Also, I'm gonna say he's natural. This is probably gonna be controversial. Many of the people will say that how can he be natural when looking like this in his 50s? Well, I feel like if you're doing, like, he's got the role for what? Actually gonna be 20 years now. So he had to train probably like at least 1 year of intense training to get in shape for the role, right? Also, he needs to train for the next 20 years in order to keep the role and still playing it good. I feel like that if you would do all the things right, in terms of dieting, regular gym training, it would be achievable natural. Obviously all the guys in here have crazy genetics. They're already genetic freaks simply because they managed to get into Hollywood. People with not good genetics don't get in Hollywood. Maybe if they're extremely talented. But if you think about all the actors in Hollywood, especially superheroes, 99% have crazy genetics in terms of attractiveness. They are already super attractive people and they're also talented. So with crazy genetics like his, only because I placed him in B tier because his genetics are not of my likeness, it doesn't mean he doesn't have crazy genetics. So I think he can be, and in fact, I think he is natural. The next on our list, one of my favorite actors overall, and also one of my favorite superheroes, we got Christian Bale as Batman. I used him as a motivation for so long. I used to fantasize about his body and me trying to achieve that body. You know, for fuel. I'm a teenager, I wanted to look like a superhero, I really looked up to Batman. Christian Bale did an amazing job of playing Batman, and in my imagination, I literally saw him as a perfect physique. Crazy proportions, crazy conditioning, everything. Because I saw him first as a kid on the TV, and it was great. I grew up, I managed to get somehow a decent physique, I would say, and I looked him up again, and I'm disappointed. In my imagination, he was looking so much better than these images show. So I rewatched the movies, and indeed, like in motion, there's a completely different thing. Like people look very different while in motion, while compared to the way they look in still images. But I'm still gonna place him in B tier. Because if I would have that body, I would still try to enhance it. He's got a kind of blocky waist. He's got very strong abdominals muscles, because even though he's in like 15 to 20% body fat, you can really see his abs. But his shoulder width, shoulder to waist ratio is just not there. He's got a good chest, but his shoulders are really not there. Also, his arms, he's got good big arms, very blocky arms, but like they don't really, the muscle separation is not quite there. Like the muscles are not bubbles, you know. But I'm gonna place him without any doubt in the Natty category. Okay, Christian Bale is Natty. You can't deny that. He is natural. After that, we got another Batman. We got Ben Affleck's Batman. And I'm gonna place him in C tier. Okay, this may be a hot take. If you watch this image, like, yeah, the man looks good, right? But if you try to look up images of his physique, this is the best image that you can get, and one of the very few images that you can get. Now, why you think that is? Why you think you find so few images of Ben Affleck's body as Batman? Because his physique is not that crazy. Again, if I would have that physique, I wouldn't complain, but I would definitely try to enhance it. The guy has a pretty blocky waist, pretty narrow shoulders, and that's it. That makes me want to place him kinda in the Natty category, because if you only see these pictures, like, you wouldn't necessarily say he's enhanced, but the guy is what, 6'4", and to feel a 6'4" body like he does, it's very hard. Like, the guy also has big legs, he's got also big arms, and filling them out is very hard. Like, I'm 6'1", and it's still pretty hard for me. Now imagine if being 6'4" and you're casted as a Hollywood actor and you have all that pressure. Hugh Jackman is not the tallest guy. I don't think he's even 6 foot. Christian Bale is 6 foot straight. This guy is 6'4". I'm gonna say he's not Natty. And I think I'm right with that. Now, we are starting to get to the point where it's gonna be crazier and crazier bodies. We got Chris Hemsworth as Thor. We also gonna have another Chris Hemsworth as the Thor from Love and Thunder, but we got Chris Hemsworth as Thor 1 to 3 or whatever. Without a doubt, I'm gonna place this guy on A. Why not S? Because he also kinda doesn't have the proportions I'm looking for. I want an as narrow as possible waist and as wide as possible shoulders. If you can see, shoulders kinda get a bit narrower at the top. Of course, that is normal. The guy is what, 6'3", 6'4", 6'2", from 6'2" to 6'4", something like that. In terms of conditioning, in terms, like, the guy is very aesthetic, right? Like, he's Thor. What more can you say? He's definitely Thor. Like, he's literally Thor. You can't say anything bad about it. So it's gonna be A. I looked up to him so much, but then I realized he's not natural. It was devastating for me, but that's the truth. For a guy that tall to feel that bone structure so much, it's gonna be very hard. And I really don't think he is natural. After that, we got John Cena. The guy, again, is what, 6 foot, right? Maybe a bit less. I don't think he's taller than 6 foot. Maybe in the best case scenario, 6'1", but I don't think. Look at his conditioning. He's got crazy good conditioning, which is gonna make him look better than he would look without that, right? Also, shoots all his scenes while pumped. So, but his proportions are definitely there. He's got wide shoulders. Yeah, he's got a kind of blocky waist, but his shoulders are just so wide that it really doesn't matter. He's got a crazy chest, he's got crazy arms. I'm gonna put him in S tier. If I would have that body, really, I wouldn't really bother to do much more, because you can't do more out of it. Like, the guy literally reached his full potential, and not only that he reached his full potential, but his potential, objectively, is a very good one. Is like top 99%, right? That doesn't mean I think he's natural. Actually, I think he's not natural. He's got a WWE background. I know for a fact that the WWE athletes, almost all were using PEDs, you know, for them to be able to perform, to recover from injuries, also to look as good as possible, because it was media, right? It was TV, it was kind of reality shows, because they obviously were fake. So there's a lot of context that makes me want to place him in the not natty category. I would love to know for a fact that he's actually natural, right? It would be very motivational for me, because it would mean that I have a chance of looking like that. But I can't place him in the natty category. Okay, so far we got kind of a tie right here. Like, we got only 2 natural athletes. After that, we got Star-Lord. I forgot his name. He made a crazy transformation. He was fat. He was literally fat, not obese or something, but definitely overweight. And then he managed to get in shape for this role. He's also quite tall. And I actually really like his body, because he got very wide shoulders. I would say that proportion-wise, right? Like, not literal measures, but proportionally, he's got wider shoulders than Thor. And even at 15-something% body fat, he manages to pull such a good physique, which shows how good his genetics are. So I'm gonna place him in A tier. I feel like if I would look like that on a daily basis, like, we are judging these pictures only, right? I get it that without the pump he's not gonna look as great. But I honestly think that if I would look like that on a daily basis, it would be so good for me that I wouldn't really want to change more about it. But placing Star-Lord above Thor, you know what? I'm gonna do it. It's gonna be it's gonna be a hot take, right? But I really feel like if I would look like Star-Lord on a daily basis, I would be happy. I wouldn't really worry that much about going to the gym so often, because I got a good conditioning, I got very good size, so I kind of won, right? Like if I would go to the beach, everybody would look at me and would most of the people would want to look like me, and those who maybe have a better conditioning, they would still respect me quite a lot. Also, the ladies love these looks, so I'm gonna put it on S tier. I'm not saying that ladies don't love Chris Hemsworth looks, but I wouldn't be satisfied with that shoulder width. Just for me, right? Okay. Then we got the Eternals guy. I forgot his name. The internet went crazy about him because he came from a skinny guy. He pulled out this physique. Oh, also Star-Lord. I know for a fact he's natural, just because I heard his story and so on. The guy really just enjoys life and trains just for a minimal, for achieving these good physiques, only for the photo shoots. Then he gains back weight. So without a doubt, I think he's Natty. So the Eternals guy, honestly, he's not that tall. I think he's 5'11" at most. 5'9", 5'11". If he's taller than that, I would be shocked. He's got very good conditioning, but again, his shoulder width, he's got good arms. It's not like he doesn't have wide shoulders. He definitely has a good shoulder width, but I can't place him in S tier. I just can't. I'm gonna place him near Thor. Yeah, I think A is because he definitely has a better shoulder to waist ratio than Hugh Jackman and Christian Bale, right? But also, I don't know if he's natty or not. The whole internet is saying he's not natty, but I really am a strong believer that if you got the ambition, you can achieve great things. And I really think he really pushed hard for that role. I get it, he managed to get into the Marvel franchise, which would basically mean that he's got a lot of reason to hop on gear. But I do think, nah, he's not natty. Not natty. Okay, I'm gonna say he's not natural. It's not like I don't feel like you could achieve this body natural, but I feel like this guy didn't, right? I feel like he did not. We got RDJ, Iron Man. We got Robert Downey Jr., the man himself, the legend. Listen to me now. Great superhero, great role. Love, he's literally my favorite Avenger, right? Obviously, in this picture, he looks great. In the movies, he looks great. But overall, his body... I mean, at his age, if I would look like that, I wouldn't necessarily be mad about it. But as of now, I really can't place him higher than C. I'm so sorry for that, but I need, like, my heart is telling me to place him at least on A tier, right? At least on A tier, because I really love him. But objectively, if I placed Ben Affleck on C, I must put him on C tier as well. Obviously, he's gonna be natural, without a doubt. The man is a legend, but I would love to have a bigger chest, to have bigger shoulders, to have bigger arms, to have bigger everything, to have a better shoulder waist ratio. But this picture is so nice of him. Oh my god, I think I'm turning gay on RDJ, but I wouldn't be the first, right? So moving on, because otherwise I'm gonna have a boner. We got Robert Pattinson as Batman. Now, the guy is in his 30s, right? Don't feel like he's got the craziest proportions. So if I would have his body, I would definitely want to enhance it. So I'm gonna place him on B tier. If you're asking me why Robert Pattinson is above Ben Affleck, simply because I feel like Robert Pattinson has an overall more aesthetic physique than Ben Affleck. I feel I simply feel like that. Is he natural? Is Robert Pattinson natural? Well, definitely he is. I don't see any reason for him to hop on gear. He didn't hop on gear when he was challenged by Taylor Lautner in Twilight. Why would he do it now? Also, is a very achievable physique as a natural, and if I would look like that, the bit here is better explained. Like, if I would look like that, I wouldn't be mad. I would try to enhance it bit by bit, right? Like, I feel like there's more potential that there's more value that I could add to it. But I wouldn't be mad to look like that. Superman. We got Henry Cavill as Superman. Now, is there more you can do? Can you achieve something greater than freaking Superman? He's literally Superman. Can you look better than that? The guy is 6'1". The guy has one of the best shoulder to waist ratios existing. Yeah, his genetics make it so that his arms go like that to the side of his body, so his shoulders appear a bit narrower than they actually are. But the Man of Steel himself, you can't get better than that. You can't. Anybody who says you can get something better than that, how? Literally how? This is not Mr. Olympia standard. Everyday life, if I would look like Henry Cavill, I won. I literally won. I won life. I wouldn't go to the gym. If I would look like Henry Cavill, I wouldn't go to the gym anymore. Why would I? If I would know that I would keep those muscles that I have, those proportions, those everything, I wouldn't go to the gym anymore. Honestly. I also really think Henry Cavill is natty. You might call me crazy. I just said that I wouldn't go to the gym anymore if I would look like Henry Cavill. How could he be natural if that's the case? Well, the guy obviously has great genetics. He's got a very good bone structure for building muscles. He's got a height that gives him a narrower waist than shoulder width. Top 1% genetics. Why wouldn't it be possible? Like, if you take 3 years of full dedication out of your life, I feel, because the guy, he's not crazy lean. He's around maybe between 12 to 15% body fat, right? I feel like it's achievable, natural. Thor, Love and Thunder. Now, without a doubt, S tier. A lot more size, a lot better proportions that Thor for his first 3 movies or 2 movies or whatever. I've seen this movie in the cinema and I literally went like that. I was, I think, 15 or 16. I literally said to myself, I want to look like that. I want to dedicate my life to the gym to look like that. I also believed he was natural. I had to break it down. For me and for you, he's not natural. Unfortunately, it's very disappointing because I want to believe that persons are natural in order for me to be able to use them as motivation, as fuel for my motivation, so that I can have something to fight for in the gym, right? Like, I want to visualize my body looking as that because I know that it's achievable. Well, this guy did not achieve that naturally. Actually, I don't even know if that's his body and CGI wasn't used on his body. If I would look like that, I won. I won the lottery. I won. There's nothing more to be added, honestly. We got Dave Bautista as Drax. I love Dave. He's a great actor. I really enjoy most of his roles. The guy is very big. He's got very good proportions for his size. So I would put him on A. Why? Maybe I would try to get a bit better conditioning. Like, try to narrow that waist down, because he's got a very blocky waist, but it really enhances his big look somehow. Don't I mean, like, this is how good he looks, that even though he's got a very big waist, because his upper body is so strong, it still makes him look good. Without a doubt, Dave Bautista is not natural. I don't even want to get into the reasons behind it. He's not. Now we got maybe one of the best in terms of aesthetics, physiques of superheroes. We got Jason Momoa as Aquaman. He doesn't have the perfect shoulder to waist ratio. I will tell you that. His shoulders are not that wide. But somehow, because of his muscle insertions, because of his abdominals, because of his separation in his arms, this guy manages to create such a harmony in his body that you can't beat it. Okay, I may be biased. Also, he's got great tattoos as this character. But that's a great physique. That's S tier physique, without a doubt. And from what I know, he's natural. From all the proof I have of him, he's natural. I really, if he wouldn't be natural, I wouldn't be surprised. But hey, if I feel like I can achieve that while being natural, it's a win for me. Honestly, it is a win for me. Next, we got Gal Gadot. This is gonna be a hot take, but I really don't feel like she looks that great as a woman. It's gonna be between B and C, honestly. Like, she's a tall woman, she doesn't really have the proportions I'm looking for. So I'm not gonna even explain why, but I think she's natural. No signs of her showing that she wouldn't be. We're gonna skip, okay? Ryan Reynolds! Ryan Reynolds as not Deadpool, but Green Lantern. Now, in my mind, I saw this movie as a kid, right? In my mind, this is literally a peak physique, peak figurine physique, like the physique that would only be achievable in like DC, like figurines made for collectors and fans, and like super tiny waist, like because of his because he's tall, he's like he doesn't have like the blocky look. He's super long, I would say, because he's tall, like shredded, crazy conditioning. I don't know. There was something about his physique in that movie, at least in my perspective as a child. Probably because his costume was green, and green is my favorite color. And especially when I was a kid, I went crazy on the green color. I'm gonna place him on S tier. And I'm not one of that glazing Ryan Reynolds guy, right? Like, I never got why everybody's saying that Ryan Reynolds is big looks. Like, I don't feel like he's got the craziest genetics. I don't feel like he's so hot as everybody says, because I know for a fact, I've seen more pictures of him. His proportions are not quite there. His shoulders are very narrow. But I don't know, in that movie, as that character, as Green Lantern, pick for me. This is gonna be my hot take. Also, I feel like he was natural. He was pretty young. He was maybe late 20s, early 30s, something in that movie. So, pretty achievable, honestly. We got Shazam. Well, Shazam, honestly, not even that. I think I'm gonna place him the lowest on the tier list. Why? Because I would be happier with Ben Affleck's or RDJ's body than with Shazam's. I forgot the actor's name. Shazam is very short. I think he's 5'9" at most, 5'6" maybe. And this is his peak in terms of conditioning and size. And if you put a shirt on him, the guy really doesn't look that great. Even in the costume, like, it's a D tier for me. Also, I don't think he's natural. Don't ask me why, I just have the vibe. So looking like that while not being natural really is gonna make me put him in D tier. Then we got The Rock. Like, I'm not even gonna argue that the guy is not natural. I get it, he's super tall, he's a very big guy. But honestly, I don't feel like he's got such a good aesthetic. I don't feel like he has such crazy proportions. I really don't like The Rock's body. I really wouldn't be happy. I really wouldn't be that happy with his physique, honestly. Besides size, like, taking in consideration on how many PEDs this guy is on, and for how much he lied about his status and for how much he lied about many things, maybe his younger version, I would place him on B or maybe even A, but honestly, blocky waist, not that wide shoulders. I get that it's very hard for him being so tall to have the proportions of like shoulder to waist ratios, but C tier. Tobey Maguire as Spider-Man. Now, I'm gonna place him on C. Obviously, I would try to enhance my body very much, but the guy is definitely natural. He is an iconic character for my childhood and probably for most of our childhoods. If I would look like that, I would definitely still hit the gym. I would definitely try to enhance my body, but you can't not love him. So, all the respect for Toby. Then we got Chris Evans, Captain America. Now, honestly, being such a huge fan of Iron Man, I really kind of tend to hate on Captain America because he tends to steal the show from Iron Man quite a lot, and people really look up more to Captain America than to Iron Man. But in terms of physique, honestly, it's an S. For me at least, such a good shoulder to waist ratio, such good muscle fullness, it's an S. If I would look like that on a daily basis, I wouldn't hit the gym anymore. Honestly. Is he natural? I don't think he is. Honestly, I don't think Chris Evans is natural. I feel like his body is achievable natural. Like, no. Actually, I feel like it's enhanced, like, in the terms of, like, minimal. Like, if it would be 10% less impressive, it would be achievable natural. But he's got the 10% that really elevates his body in such a way that I can't say he's natural. Then we got... Oh, I forgot to place The Rock as not naturally. Then we got the last one, Michael B. Jordan, as in Kill Jer or something like that. Now, I've seen him as Creed, I've seen him in this role, but this guy has such a good shoulder waist ratio, such full shoulders. It's actually crazy. I thought for a very long time that this guy was natural, but obviously not Natty, unfortunately. But if I would look like that, I wouldn't even go 100, like, no, I wouldn't go a mile close to a gym. There's literally no point. If you look like that, you just won. You don't need to do shit. You can even forget how to talk and you will get girls. You're gonna be, and the girls will be, oh my god, yeah, I wanna get laid so bad with you.